Hello, TTI family. Today we're heading high into the mountains to watch a man build a breathtaking log house completely by hand. On his channel, Alone with Nature, Volodymyr, or simply Vova, shows what happens when patience, skill, and a deep respect for nature come together. And this project is no ordinary cabin. It's a full off-grid mountain home, built step by step on steep, unforgiving terrain. The build begins with one of the toughest stages, digging trenches directly into a mountainside. Armed with nothing more than sturdy boots, a shovel, and the determination of a man who clearly laughs in the face of back pain, Vova cuts through compacted earth, rocks, frost, and layers of damp forest soil. In a cold mountain climate where freeze-thaw cycles constantly shift the ground, preparing a solid foundation is absolutely essential. The logs are stripped of bark by hand, a process that not only gives the wood a cleaner appearance, but also helps protect it from moisture and insects. Every piece of timber feels carefully chosen and thoughtfully prepared. Once the trenches are complete, he drives wooden posts deep into the earth to outline the future structure. Because the house sits on a steep slope, Vova builds an elevated support system using heavy posts and horizontal beams. This design keeps the structure stable while preventing moisture buildup underneath. Watching him lift and align massive hand-peeled logs alone is seriously impressive. Most people need 3 friends just to move a couch upstairs. Vova casually wrestles entire trees into place like it's part of his morning cardio routine. As the frame rises, he carefully joins beams together using traditional woodworking techniques. The triangular roof structure is especially important, designed to handle heavy rain and mountain snow with ease. Each notch is carved by hand, allowing the logs to lock tightly together into a strong, weather-resistant skeleton. For the foundation walls, Vova gathers large natural stones from the surrounding area and combines them with homemade clay mortar. By mixing clay and water into a thick paste, he creates a natural bonding material perfectly suited for changing temperatures and humid conditions. The stones are fitted together with incredible precision, almost like solving a giant mountain puzzle. To protect the hillside from erosion, he also constructs a retaining wall from vertically placed wooden planks secured with stakes. Layer by layer, the earth is compacted behind the wall to keep the slope stable. Inside the structure, Vova begins crafting a durable stone floor before moving on to one of the most fascinating parts of the project: cordwood masonry. To strengthen the lower section of the walls, Vova adds horizontal layers of stone along the base of the structure. This clever detail helps lift the cordwood away from ground moisture, protecting the logs from rot and extending the life of the house. It's one of those small construction decisions that quietly says, yeah, this guy really knows what he's doing. Short log sections are stacked into clay mortar to create insulated walls that are both practical and beautiful. The exposed log ends give the cabin a rustic character, while the clay helps regulate indoor temperature by absorbing heat during the day and slowly releasing it at night. At the same time, he begins shaping and smoothing additional logs that will become the frames for doors and windows. Since the walls are built directly into the main post and beam structure without a secondary frame system, every opening has to be carefully planned before the wall construction continues. Once these frames are locked into place, they act like guides, allowing the cordwood and clay mixture to be packed neatly around them. The placement of the windows is no accident either. Vova positions the openings strategically to capture sunlight throughout the day, from sunrise to sunset. This helps brighten the interior naturally, while also improving heat retention inside the cabin. Of course, mountain life still demands a stronger heat source, and preferably one that can also cook dinner without needing a user manual thicker than a textbook. That's where the stove comes in. Using reclaimed bricks, Vova carefully builds a wood-burning stove in a staggered brick pattern for added strength and stability. The bricks are ideal because they absorb heat slowly and release it over time, keeping the cabin warm long after the fire calms down. Between each brick, he applies clay mortar, a traditional material that handles high temperatures remarkably well without cracking. Once completed, the stove is coated with a smooth clay finish and blended beautifully into the cordwood walls. It doesn't just look rustic, it feels like the kind of stove that could survive a snowstorm, cook soup, dry boots, and probably offer emotional support at the same time. Next, Vova turns his attention outdoors, carving a staircase directly into the mountainside. Using a shovel, he carefully cuts level sections into the slope before installing vertical logs as retaining barriers for each step. The gaps are then filled with compacted soil, creating sturdy, earth-filled log steps that work perfectly in steep terrain. This method is both durable and environmentally friendly, while also helping rainwater drain naturally instead of turning the path into a mudslide adventure park. To protect the cabin from harsh mountain weather, Vova installs waterproof roofing membranes beneath the roof covering. Materials like Strotex and Foliarex help block rain and snow, while still allowing trapped moisture inside the structure to escape. It's an important layer that keeps the cabin dry without suffocating the wood. The stair treads are then finished with carefully placed flat stones, secured using clay mortar. Each stone is adjusted by hand to create a smooth walking surface, while extra mortar is packed into the joints to keep everything stable. The combination of rugged timber and natural stone gives the entrance a handcrafted look that blends perfectly with the surrounding landscape. Finally, Vova begins covering the roof with hand-fitted wooden planks. Each board is carefully nailed into place with precision, especially near the roof ridge where custom-cut cap planks seal the top against wind and rain. Inside the cabin, Vova begins crafting furniture that perfectly matches the rugged beauty of the house. The bed frame is built from thick, rounded logs, carefully shaped and assembled into a strong, durable structure. The curved wooden beams form both the legs and headboard, giving the bed a natural appearance that looks like it grew directly out of the forest itself. Wooden planks are then secured across the frame to create a sturdy sleeping platform. The finished bed blends beautifully with the rustic interior, complementing the stone walls, clay finishes, and the warm brick stove nearby. It's simple, practical, and incredibly well made. The kind of bed that looks capable of surviving both winter storms and one really aggressive nap. Keeping with the handcrafted theme, Vova also transforms a massive tree stump into a corner table. After carefully polishing the surface to remove imperfections and protect it from insects, he fits a glass top over the stump, turning it into a surprisingly elegant piece of furniture. Most people scroll furniture websites for 3 hours and still end up buying something called Modern Cube Unit 4B. Meanwhile, Vova casually turns half a tree into designer decor. What makes his carpentry so impressive is the way he combines traditional woodworking skills with minimal equipment. Using locally sourced timber, he creates furniture and structural elements that blend naturally into the surrounding environment. He relies on classic techniques such as mortise and tenon joinery, allowing wooden pieces to lock tightly together without depending heavily on metal hardware. By mixing curved branches with straight beams, Vova achieves both visual charm and structural strength. Even without advanced machinery, he manages to reveal the natural beauty hidden inside every piece of wood. Every cut, notch, and joint feels carefully considered rather than mass-produced. He also installs a secure locking system on the cabin door to keep wildlife from wandering inside. Because in the mountains, unexpected visitors are less likely to be salespeople and more likely to have fur and very strong opinions about your food storage. Some of the wooden elements are also treated using the traditional sho sugiban technique, where the surface of the wood is lightly charred to improve resistance against moisture, pests, and decay. This ancient method not only protects the timber, but also gives it a striking dark finish. The finishing touches inside the cabin continue with the stove. Vova coats the brick surface with a dark protective sealant that shields it from smoke stains and wear, while giving it a polished appearance. With the interior complete, Vova shifts his attention outdoors and begins constructing a dedicated barbecue area. Using carefully stacked bricks and clay mortar, he builds a durable cooking station designed to handle high temperatures year-round. To tie the area visually to the rest of the property, he surrounds it with a rustic wooden fence and adds a handcrafted roof overhead. Supported by stripped logs, the pitched roof is carefully assembled to direct rainwater away, while protecting the barbecue beneath. Wooden planks are nailed into place with precision, creating a sheltered outdoor cooking area that blends naturally into the mountainside. To finish the structure, Vova applies a weatherproof sealant across the roof planks, carefully brushing it into every gap and crevice. This protective layer helps preserve the wood while enhancing its natural texture and color. The entire project feels like a tribute to traditional building methods, proof that old-world craftsmanship still works beautifully when placed in the right hands. One of the most striking parts of Vova's project is the honest use of natural materials throughout the entire build. From untreated logs and hand-cut planks to carefully stacked bricks, every detail reflects a commitment to authenticity and sustainability. Nothing feels artificial or over-designed. Instead, the cabin embraces a raw, earthy character that fits perfectly within the mountain landscape. The overall design draws strong inspiration from traditional Eastern European and Scandinavian building styles. The cordwood walls, built from log rounds set into mortar, are a classic technique once widely used in rural regions because of their excellent insulation and affordability. Combined with exposed beams full of knots, bends, and natural imperfections, the house feels handcrafted in the best possible way. But what truly makes this place special is not just the construction style. It's the respect Vova shows toward the environment around him. Rather than dominating the hillside, the cabin settles naturally into it. Its modest size and thoughtful placement minimize disruption to the forest, making the structure feel less like something built on the land and more like something that quietly grew there over time. The color palette strengthens this connection even further. Warm browns, soft beige mortar, weathered timber, and natural stone tones mirror the colors already present in the surrounding forest. Nothing screams for attention. The house blends into the landscape so naturally that it almost feels like the trees collectively agreed to adopt it. Even the smallest details reveal this philosophy. The beige clay mortar resembles dry earth and stone, while the deep browns of the logs echo the bark of nearby trees. Every material feels chosen not only for function, but also for harmony with nature itself. One standout feature is the handcrafted rocking chair placed near the balcony area. Built to highlight the natural curves and grain of the wood, it becomes the perfect symbol of the entire project. Simple, functional, and beautiful without trying too hard. And honestly, after watching Vova build an entire mountain home alone, seeing him casually relax in that chair feels extremely earned. Most people need a weekend nap after assembling one kitchen cabinet incorrectly 3 times. As the finishing touches come together, Vova adds small garden features around the entrance, using natural textures and local materials. The transition between outdoors and indoors becomes seamless. What's outside, nature, calm, simplicity, continues inside the cabin itself. That's what makes this project so inspiring. Vova proves that off-grid living does not mean giving up comfort or beauty. In many ways, it means rediscovering them. Through traditional craftsmanship and careful design, he creates a home capable of surviving harsh mountain weather while still feeling warm and inviting. And once the outdoor barbecue is finally fired up, the project truly comes alive. Between the smell of wood smoke, the mountain air, and the golden evening light hitting the stone walls and timber roof, it becomes obvious that this is more than just a cabin. It's a place built for peace, reflection, and connection with the natural world. As the sun sets across the hillside, Vova's work stands as a timeless masterpiece, one built not only with skill, but with patience, respect, and heart. If you enjoyed this incredible project, be sure to visit Alone with Nature to discover more amazing builds like this one.